evidence in the mushroom murder trial, new revelations from the accused killer. Erin Patterson accepting there were deathcap mushrooms in the beef Wellingtons she prepared for 4 family members in 2023. Do you accept that there must have been deathcap mushrooms in it? Yes, I do. Ms. Patterson also admitted she owned a dehydrator and had used it to preserve wild mushrooms.
What's up, folks? We are back again. A new sort of killer is in town. This time they're going back to the medieval times. You know, lately it's like you shoot somebody, whatever. All these forms of murder and taking out ex-husbands and ex-family members. This woman has decided that poisoning is a great idea. So back in 2023, this story broke whenever her ex-in-laws, her mother-in-law, her father-in-law, and then a pastor came down deathly sick. 2 of them died in the hospital, and 1 barely survived and is now testifying against her. This is after she invited her ex-in-laws over for dinner. She served them beef Wellington with mushrooms that were poison and highly toxic, and killed 2 of them and left 1 of them in critical condition. Funny enough, she didn't eat any of that herself. Neither did her kids. She served her and her kids leftovers while they had the beef Wellington. Now, prior to this, her ex-husband claims, allegedly in a Facebook post, that she'd tried to poison him. That's why he kind of blew the whistle and was like, I think something's up. I think she's trying to, poison us all. I think that she's a mental patient. She's a serial killer. He apparently had gone over there and ate lunch with her. Of course, she didn't partake in the same thing as well. And then he comes down deathly sick with the exact same thing. Now, they didn't know it at the time, and I guess this woman thought she got away with it. He comes down with a gastrointestinal issue. They don't really know what happened. It lands him in a coma, an induced coma for 16 days. They thought he was going to die. He pulls through. Shortly after that, she invites the in-laws over. They eat the beef Wellington. Boom, they're out. So I don't know what's going on in this woman's head. Does she think she can get away with it? But modern crime stories like this always fascinate me, and I think they fascinate a lot of people, because while I don't like the idea of people getting away with murder, I don't want to live in a country where no one gets away with it. You know what I mean? Let me explain myself. I'm not endorsing criminality. I'm not rooting for any of these people. But at the same time, I'd like to live in a country where we're not in such a surveillance state that you can't get away with anything. You know, I'd rather have a few terrible people get away with something than no one get away with anything, because that means we live in a surveillance state, in a police state. I don't want to live like that. So that's kind of my little take on there. Let's get into this story, because I think it's fascinating. We'll listen to the rest of this news broadcast and see what you guys think about this. Personally, I think she's guilty as sin. I mean, come on.
Ms. Patterson also admitted she owned a dehydrator and had used it to preserve wild mushrooms after learning to forage fungi during the 2020 COVID lockdowns. When asked what
idle minds are the devil's workshop. This is why you should not have government lockdowns. This is not why people should not be hanging out in their house with nothing better to do, because then they start concocting poisons. Thanks, COVID, for that.
With the mushroom she picked in May 2023, the month of the fatal lunch, she said, I took them home, cleaned them, sliced them. If I didn't think I wanted to use them that day, I would dry them and put them in the pantry. Later explained.
So she's like a mad scientist. Can you even imagine the reasoning going on? She's like, okay, I'm going to poison my in-laws. I've already tried with my ex-husband and I got away with it. Nobody really suspects anything. I think I'm going to just go for the whole tribe. Why not? We're already at the state 0, me 1. Why not go for the home run here? I'm gonna really, full send here. So she's back here in her pantry. She's out foraging. She's this little pudgy, fat, chubby mom, and she's out in the forest like some fucking witch out there foraging for mushrooms. That looks poisonous to me. I'll get that and put it in my dehydrator and bring it home, and then I'll serve meals. This is sick.
Generally, I would put them in a container I already had going with Woolies mushrooms, so I would just dry them and put them in a container. Telling the jury she remembered putting wild dehydrated mushrooms into a container that already contained other dried mushrooms a month or 2 before the lethal lunch. Jurors have previously been shown the accused killer's record of...
By the way, why do these serial killers, when they're women, always look like this? Assuming on the rare incidences that they're not black, They always look like this. It's like that. There's this TV series or a movie. It's called The Thing About Pam, Marie Zellweger or whatever, that lady from Bridget's May's Diary or something. She's like a killer too, and she's like kind of fat, and you would never think. You would never think. That's like crazy to think that there's people that you would never suspect. Like, they really do not fit the image. That's probably why this story is going so viral.
Interview where she told police she'd never foraged for mushrooms and didn't own a dehydrator. Then when asked, have you ever been diagnosed with ovarian cancer, she replied, I have not. And have you ever had a needle biopsy?
So what I'm thinking of this is that the reason why she lied about the ovarian cancer, because she allegedly told the in-laws who came over, she told them that she had ovarian cancer while they were eating the poisonous beef Wellington. So what I'm thinking is the reason, because I'm like, why would you make that up? That must have been the way she got them to come over. You know, I mean, think about it. You're divorced. There's kind of who hangs out with their in-laws after there's been a divorce? And it sounds like it was probably a messy divorce as well. So there must have been some reason why big enough to lure them to the house. So she must have been like, I have some horrible news, really tragic news. You know, I still think of you guys as family, so I think you need to come over. And then she said she had cancer, right? So I'm thinking that's probably why she brought that up. But it turns out that that's true. A lie also.
See, on a lump on your elbow, she answered, I've never had a needle biopsy anywhere. The trial had earlier been told she'd been referred to a biopsy in a message to her mother-in-law, and she'd claimed a cancer diagnosis during the beef Wellington lunch. Today, Ms. Patterson described her relationship with each of the lunch guests, 3 of whom died in hospital following suspected deathcap mushroom poisoning. Of her in-laws, Don and Gail, Ms. Patterson said she'd wanted her children to live near their nana and papa, fighting back tears as she explained that even after her marriage breakdown, she was just their daughter-in-law and they just continued to love her.
And Estelle Grieping is live for us in Morwell. Estelle, Erin Patterson will be back in the witness box tomorrow.
Okay. So apparently it turns out that that's a lie as well because, well, here's this. This is the proof that, this is from Global News. It says Erin Patterson served her children and herself leftovers from the meal, including mashed potatoes, green beans, and steak, but no mushrooms. So she served them something else separately. Like, who does that? You're making this massive meal for the whole family. Why would you not all just eat the beef Wellington? So it was obviously a planned thing. This is a news article. This says, Erin Patterson mushroom trial shows messages describing husband as Simon as deadbeat and criticizing his family. So of course this is the woman who wants everybody to believe that she is loved them so much. By the way, my computer's about to die, so hopefully it won't die mid-show. Okay, let's see what this has to say. That Erin Patterson allegedly described her extended family as a lost cause and said she wanted nothing to do with them. Well, she took things to a bit of an extreme. According to online messages 8 months before the fatal lunch at her home, Facebook messages between Miss Patterson and a group of online friends were shown to her multiple trial in the Supreme Court on Morwell on Thursday. Evidence also included pictures of mushrooms obtained from a digital tablet in Miss Patterson's home, and a forensic data report showed repeated factory resets of a phone in the week following July. Okay, if you're gonna kill somebody, I suggest not documenting it on your phone. Don't Google things on your phone. Don't make it so obvious that everybody will know you did it. Like, if you're going to do this, at least do a good job. And this always seems to catch people up, is they are always on their phone and they leave this digital footprint, which is so stupid. Miss Patterson pleaded not guilty to deliberately poisoning her relatives with deathcap mushrooms, resulting in the deaths of Don Patterson, Gail Patterson, and Heather Wilkinson, and the hospitalization of Ian Wilkinson. So he was a pastor in the area. Before the lunch, Miss Patterson had fallen out with her estranged husband, Simon, the son of Don and Gail. The pair had argued about finances and child support payments, the trial heard. This family, and this is a quote, "This family, I swear to fucking God," says Miss Patterson allegedly in a group chat on December using the Facebook account Erin. "Nobody bloody listens to me. At least I know they're a lost cause." The messages to the group chat continued, the court heard. So anyway, I sent a group message to them all last night saying how Simon's behavior is unconscionable, asking me to withdraw. Child support claim is wrong and disadvantages me and his children. How dare he, etc. Okay, so this is another article from... Wrong one. Where is it? Maybe I didn't pull this one up. So this is another article talking about the ex-husband and his alleged poisoning as well. So man whose parents were killed after lunch with his ex suspect she tried to poison him as well. So this article goes, this is from the New York Post. It goes on to say the ex-husband of Australian woman, believes his ex previously tried to poison him as well, a report said Thursday. Simon Patterson was on the guest list for ex-wife Erin Patterson's lunch that ended with his parents and sister dying and his brother-in-law in critical condition. So he was invited to the lunch too, and he decided not to attend. I wonder why. He canceled because he couldn't make it last minute, and he was also wary of his ex. Well, he should have maybe warned his family. He had been in an induced coma for 16 days after suffering a mystery gut illness last spring after eating food Erin served, the report said. Simon suspected he had been poisoned by Erin, a source close to him told the paper. There were times he had felt a bit off, and it coincided with the times he spent with her. In fact, Simon wrote about this in May 2020. May 2022, stomach illness from which he made a full recovery on Facebook. I collapsed at home, then in an induced coma for 16 days, which I had 3 emergency operations, mainly on my small intestine, plus an additional planned operation. Okay, that's crazy. So he's already wary of her, obviously. This was her statement when the press descends upon her home when this story first broke back in 2023. And let's just see how convincing these crocodile tears are.
What's happened? Can you tell us about the meal that you cooked?
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don. Don is still in hospital, the loss of Ian.
Okay, you're not being very convincing. There's no tears. I haven't seen one tear. Please, you're gonna have to take some acting classes and really fix this because you're not convincing anyone. I'm devastated.
And Heather and Gail, they were some of the best people that I've ever met. Gail was like...
Take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have.
Okay, is this not typical? When you're caught, you start to play the victim. You poisoned people. People died after eating your food. And reporters are asking you about the meal, and you're talking about how your mom died.
Because my mum passed away 4 years ago. And Gail's never been anything but good and kind to me.
By the way, horrible acting. You can tell she's trying her best. She's like kicking herself like, you dumbass. Muster up at least one tear. She's trying her best and she can't.
And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so devastated about what's happened.
Wiping away tears that aren't there.
Can you tell us
and the loss to the community and to the families and to my own children who've lost their grandmother.
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
Okay, I would have almost led with that. Where did you get the mushrooms? Why did you poison them? What was your motive?
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I
think you can.
Just can't fathom what has happened. That Ian and Heather have lost their lives.
Okay, but tell us about the mushrooms. Okay, but where did you get the mushrooms? Like, if this was me and say I'd been sold like a bunch of mushrooms that were like tainted with some bad ones, I would be like, I got them from this farmer's market. I gotta talk to these people. I think it may have been laced. They may have gotten a bad mushroom. I got it from a farmer's market. I'm sorry, I didn't know. But no, she's just saying how devastated she is. Okay, well, answer the question maybe.
And Gail has lost her life and Donna's still in hospital, and I pray that he pulls through because my children love him.
Still, not a single tear. Do you see tears in those eyes? I don't see one tear. I just see some bad acting.
You're shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated.
What about the pies? I'm devastated.
I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
And I'm so sorry that the third one pulled through. Damn it. I almost got him, and I'm so sorry my first attempt on my ex-husband was unsuccessful.
How are you?
But hey, you know what? 3 out of what, 5? Not bad.
I just can't believe it.
Oh, she's like, okay, I gotta ramp it up now.
Just can't believe it.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from?
Okay, more talk about the mushrooms. I'm out. I went to the grocery store. I gotta unpack my shit. Can you guys get out of here, please? So she takes a turn around the car. Okay. Oh, the groceries are on this side. Okay. Maybe there's some mushrooms in there as well.
I just ask you to leave me alone.
I'm out. Leave me alone,
Police say
please.
you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about
Yes,
that?
I say I didn't do anything. I love them. And I'm devastated that they're gone. And I hope...
Quite a performance. Wasn't your best work. That was kind of a negative C performance. I would give that. I wouldn't rate that performance very good at all. What do you guys think? I know this is a little bit of a left field story, but I saw this back in 2023 and it's finally coming out. I don't really know how they're going to catch, like, how do you catch something like this, you know? How do you prove where she got the mushrooms? Apparently now it's coming out that she, like, foraged for them. She found them on her property. I mean, you know, everything in Australia, to me, it seems very dangerous. There's, like, saltwater crocs there. There's great white sharks that do kill people a lot of stuff. There's like black mambas there. There's scary things. So who knows? Maybe it's just Australia, but I think that she did it. I'm sorry, but I think she did it. Anyway, if you guys liked this video, let me know. Also in the comments, let me know any other things you'd like me to cover, because sometimes you'll be inundated with media and then you don't find anything at the same time. So let me know if there's any stories you want me to cover. I know a lot of you send me emails and I always appreciate that. So let me know in the comments, like, subscribe. We're building the community, folks, and we're doing a great job. Anyway, we will be back soon with another video.